Centralia College, where we are broadcasting from Wheeler Court inside Michael Smith Gymnasium. Just a quick recap of the records of both these teams. We have Centralia College versus South Puget Sound Community College. South Puget Sound's record currently is 3-12 overall and 1-1 in Western Conference play, as Centralia College's women's team's record is 8-8 and 2-0 in Western Conference play. Centralia College currently has the best record in the Western Conference for women's basketball in the NWAC. And so the last game that South Puget Sound Community College played, they ended up beating Green River 67-47. So they're coming in here off a nice hot streak with their wins there. And Centralia College won last Saturday, putting them undefeated in league play. We're going to go to Jerry Owens for the Flex Loop.
Lady Blazers, if you would please stand and join in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the starting lineup for the Lady Clippers. A 5'10" sophomore from Winlock, number 10, Rihanna Whitehead. 5'11" sophomore from Raymond, 12, Michaela Collins. A 5'8" sophomore from Henderson, Nevada, number 20, Trinity Batoni. A 5'5" freshman of St. Helens, Oregon, number 24, Miranda Northrop. And a 5'7" freshman of Mossy Rock, 32, Lainey Gross. And the rest of the Clippers, Mr. Mike Moore, head coach, and Kathy Kravitz-Smith assisting. And the starting lineup for the Lady Blazers. From Colfax, a 5'9" freshman, number 10, Piper Kai. At guard, a 5'9" freshman of Lacey, number 12, Caitlin Yenny. From Yelm, a 5'9" sophomore, 15, Jamie Conley. A 5'9" sophomore of Adna, number 23, Isabella Elwood. And from Olympia, a 5'8" freshman, 32, Lindsay Nurmi. And the Lady Blazers, Mr. Caleb Sales, head coach, Joe Milton, Kay Adams, and Lauren Fisher assisting.
All right, thank you for that, Jerry. As this game is about to get underway, we'd just like to point out to start out that South Puget Sound actually has a lot of players on the starting lineup from Lewis County, which is an interesting development considering they're Olympia-based school. All right. And one of my fellow broadcasters would like me to point out they have a player from Mossy Rock, which is his alma mater. All right, and here we go, about to tip off. All right, Yenny tips to South Puget Sound Community College. He gets it to number 24, and 24 is Northrop. Northrop goes to 32, 32 being Gross. Back to Northrop. Northrop drives in, kicks it to 32. 32 kicks it across, then gets it to the left corner. And she drives to the middle, and she kicks it back out to Northrop. Northrop gets a wide open look off the glass and rebounded by Nurmi. All right, Nurmi has it at the top. She's looking in. She's setting her team up so they can get something going here at the beginning. Looks like South Puget Sound is currently playing a high zone, a 3-2. So they're Centralia's gonna be probing the outside, see if they can knock down some threes. All right, and the rebound was gotten by number 20.
Trinity Batoni.
And Northrop has it at the front. Seems to be handling the bulk of the ball handling duties. Gets back to Northrop. Northrop is trying to go to her person in the left wing, gets it to her. She brings it back to her. Whitehead kicks it back to Gross. Gross drives in, loses the ball. Rebounded by Kai. Kai gets to Nurmi. Nurmi brings it up the court. Nurmi kicks it to Yenny. Yenny gives it back to Nurmi. Nurmi looking to the court, getting her players set up. Gets to the corner to Kai. Kai gets at the top to Yenny. Yenny goes to the left to Conley. Conley misses long. Rebounded by
Batoni.
Number 20, Batoni. And she brings up the court. Gets it back to Northrop. Northrop kicks it to number 20, Batoni. Tony
Gross.
gets to the corner. And Yenny ends up throwing the ball out of bounds, giving the ball back to SPSCC.
Good defenses so far. Good defenses so far. Yet to have a score.
Indeed, it's been scoreless the first couple minutes here, which has been an interesting development. And kicks it back across to number 10 Whitehead, who sinks the first points of the game. That's 3 on the board for South Puget Sound. All right, Nermy brings it to cloth half court, kicks it to Conley. Conley's looking inside, can't quite see it, gives it back to Nermy. Nermy gets to the corner to Kai. Kai hits it inside to Conley. Conley back out to Nermy. Oh, that's not Nermy. That would be Elwood.
Clippers with the board.
All right, Whitehead ends up throwing it, a high pass gathered by number 20, who then kicks back to number 20. That was a risky pass there, and it doesn't quite pay off for South Puget Sound.
No, a tad bit too fancy, I think.
So Batoni's going to throw it in for South Puget Sound. Batoni inbounds to Gross. Gross got it back to Northrop. Northrop shoots and misses left. Yenny gets the board and starts bringing up court, who gets it to Nermy. Nermy kicks it down to Kai. Kai looks for a way in, finds on the baseline drive. There's some body collisions, but nothing the refs find too much. And Yenny sinks that 3.
Score is now tied.
All right, Northrop brings it up, kicks it to, trying to take it straight inside for an attack, but too many hands in the way. So Centralia gets it back to Nermy. Nermy gets it to, we have a kick ball. That was a really weird angle from where I was seeing. It looked like she just threw it out of bounds.
23 checks in for Gross.
That'd be Holden. Holden's coming in. Conley's going to inbound for Centralia. She gets it to Kai. Kai gets back to Conley. Conley's looking inside. Can't quite get what she wants, so Nermy takes her own shot. Looks like a hold penalty. Some nice aggressive rebounding by Elwood. That's going to be
Lindsay Nermy to inbound it.
Bettany's first personal. They get into Yenny. Looks like they kick it back out to Nermy. They want to give her an open shot, but she can't quite get a hold of the ball, so they get it back to Yenny. Yenny gets it back to the left corner, and then Nermy. Nermy takes it to the top of the key. Kicks it left to Elwood, who kicks it left to Kai. Kai looking to be aggressive. Kicks it across the court to Yenny. And Yenny can't quite sink the 3. Kai rebounds, hucks it for Dear Hope. Gets grabbed by South Puget Sound, who now is Northrop bringing it up, who kicks it all the way to number, can't quite see it,
Tony with the rebound.
23, Holden, who just came in. And that was a great rebound by
Tony.
Gross. No, Bettany. Conley has it, he's trying to look inside, ends up kicking left to Kai. Kai takes her own 3, sinks it. Northrop brings it up the court, guarded by Yenny. South Puget Sound meets it in the corner to Holden. Holden back to Whitehead. Whitehead trying to get something going here. Through the hands of back to Northrop. The shot clock's at 5. And she sinks that shot as it gets down to the end of that shot clock. Nerry brings it to the court, trying to get there before South Puget Sound can get back on defense. Conley sees Elwood inside, but it was a dangerous pass. Kai, in her aggressiveness, gets that ball back. Conley back to Kai. Kai decides she wants her 3 again. Can't quite get it. So Northrop brings the ball up the court. Being heavily guarded by Yenny. Kicks it to, oh my goodness. That was a long shot right there for South Puget Sound, rebounded by Conley. We have Nerry bringing it up the court now. Kicks it left to Conley. Conley all the way to the corner to Kai. It seems to be a pattern with Centralia to go that exact route. Gonna have to be looking forward to that for South Puget Sound to see if they can pick one of those passes off. Kai ends up touching it last as it goes out of bounds.
It's worth noting, I think, that Centralia is first in three-point attempts in their conference so far this season. Second overall.
That has been their go-to shot this beginning of the game.
So
Northrop kicks to
looks like
Whitehead. Whitehead again is getting tipped.
Looks like that got tipped to the assistant coach over at Centralia.
Whitehead's going to throw it in. Gives it to Northrop. She takes it left, kicks it to number 23, Holden. Six seconds left in the shot clock. They're going to have to take a three. Ends up long. Nice rebound by South Puget Sound, who gets the win to Northrop. Notice this time it's sunk by Holden. All right, Nermi has it at the top, kicks it to two. Christian, who kicks it to Kai, who shoots the three. Gets it back out to Nermi, decides she doesn't want to take that three. Gets to Christian, Christian to the Yenny. Yenny trying to look inside. Kai ends up driving baseline, takes a nice little lay-in, has a nice soft touch, gets that right in.
And that is Kai, who was the point leader last game, and I believe is the point leader on the team.
And Centralia called a 30-second timeout.
Centralia's 3 points made per game is running fourth right now in their conference and fifth overall. So I'd say that the three-pointer is definitely their bread and butter at this point.
That is a dangerous thing to have your bread and butter, though, because it can save you, but it can also come and bite you later in the game.
It certainly can, and especially with South Puget Sound ranking second overall and third in their conference for, second and seventh overall for defensive rebounds per game. So they are getting the ball back quite often.
Yeah, that'll be something to pay attention to see if South Puget Sound continues to beat Centralia on the boards, which they have, as we've seen just now on the other side of the court. Whitehead inbounds it, gets the ball back.
Centralia running a full court press.
Gets to the Northrop in the center. Kai gets a little bit too aggressive with their hands there. Oh, they ended up calling it on Yenny.
Really? I missed that one.
All right, they stopped the game for some reason. They've worked it out, and Whitehead's going to throw it into Northrop. Northrop getting her team set up. As she looks to go, heavily guarded by Yenny. Yenny's a very aggressive defender. She does get away with a lot with her hands. It's quite a skill.
Yeah, she usually rests right at the top of the key. I think she's one of their key defenders.
All right, here comes Nermi bringing the ball up the court, who last time we were here, last Wednesday, she handled the bulk of the ball handling for Centralia, so we'll see if that continues to hold up. Gets inside to Christian. Christian does a nice post move, but decides not to go up under the basket. Ends up kicking it out to Nermi. Gets to Kai in the corner. There's 7 seconds left on the shot clock, so Yenny has to take a quick shot. But Kai gets that board, kicks it back out to Yenny. Yenny gets it to Nermi. Nermi is now taking the reset shot clock, taking advantage of that, using all the time they want. And Yenny gets it back to Nermi. He kicks to Christian, who decides to take her own shot and is short. But Yenny's there to get that ball. Unfortunately, she can't quite get it to Nermi.
Good work on the offensive rebounds for Centralia there, giving them way too much time. Sure, South Sound needs to pick up on the defensive rebounds a little bit, which they are supposedly quite good at.
So they officially made the correction. That first foul that we were surprised that it was called on Yenny has been changed officially to Kai, Piper Kai, number 10 for Centralia.
Yeah, I believe that's what we all saw up here as well.
All right, Northrop brings it up the court. Takes it to the right, sends Whitehead to the corner, brings it back up to the top, trying to get a screen, gets it, decides not to use it though. As Whitehead kicks it back up to number 20, Bettany, who finds Northrop inside for an easy lane in the short corner.
Wilkerson has come in for Yenny now for the moment.
All right, Christian has the ball up top with Nermi, and they get it to... Nice rebound by Kai again. That's fantastic. She can't quite finish under the hoop. Nice aggressiveness there by Wilkerson. Ends up saving her team from
Good
a
hustle
quick
for the
break.
ball.
Christian sinks this one, though. Not phased at all by the previous shot that ended up being an air ball. Northrop brings it up to her left. Ends up getting up to Whitehead. Whitehead back to Bettany and finds
Brown.
what a lay-in. All right, Nurmi has the ball at the top of the court, kicks it right to Christian. Christian to Talapu. Talapu back to Nurmi. Nurmi across the court to Kai for a wide open look. And she takes advantage of that as she hits that three. We're definitely seeing those three-pointers coming into a factor right now as under a minute's left in this first quarter. All right, they get to 23, who's Holden. Holden has been their three-point shooter for this first quarter for South Puget Sound. All right, Christian brings it up the court, looking to get something fast. Can't quite get it. Gets it back to Talapu, and Nurmi now has it at the front. Nurmi back to Talapu, who then kicks it in to Wilkerson, who gets a nice soft pass to Kai, who can't quite convert, but gets a touch pass to Nurmi, as Nurmi again sets her team up. 24 seconds left in the first quarter. I wonder if Centralia is going to wait for the last shot. They're not even guarding Talapu, who takes her own chance to get that three. Fantastic. That was some confidence right there from Talapu, calling for that ball the whole time they were down there, as she noticed she was unguarded.
Certainly was, and the Blazers have taken their first lead of the game now at 17-16.
4 seconds left. We got to see what Northrop does as South Puget Fan scrambles to get a shot.
He gets the buzzer beater.
And they count it.
They did.
The officials count that shot.
And the lead changes back. 1 point. That'll be the end of the first quarter.
Blazers 17, South Puget Sound 18. So what do you think their coaches are telling their players right now?
I think a lot of it has got to do with the rebounds, especially SPC has got to focus more on their own side of the ball. If Centralia is able to keep getting their own offensive rebounds and just keep shooting, they're gonna eat away the clock and just take advantage of that, eventually making quite a bit of damage, I think.
Agreed. It looks like right now from where we're sitting that both the coaches are currently drawing up some sort of play. So you got to wonder if when they come out, they're each going to have a set they're going to run out to try and get some easy points right off the bat to try and get momentum swinging their way.
Very likely. I think if Centralia keeps up the three, which, like you mentioned before, can be a dangerous philosophy, but it seems to have been working for them this season, and it would be a good way to turn around that lead going into the second quarter.
And South Puget Sound is doing a great job with rebounds. We'll get those official numbers later, but they do seem that's what's keeping them in the game. They're having some issues dropping their shots, getting them to go in the hoop, but usually with time and the jitters getting out of their system for being on the road, I'm sure that will change for South Puget Sound.
Yeah, everybody settles down here in the second quarter a little bit.
Centralia will start possession in the second quarter.
Indeed, Nurmi is going to throw the ball in here. Nurmi gets it to Talapu, who then gets it right back to Nurmi. They kick it right inside right away.
Brown with the rebound.
Already better on the rebounds is SPC.
Mm-hmm. So you got number 20 right here, Bettany, handling the ball right now, which is different from the first quarter when Northrop handled the ball most of the time.
Manny Gross with a shot.
Talapu gets to the Nurmi. Northrop's actually currently sitting on the bench. I wonder why that is. I wonder if there's an issue with her.
I think she's just winded.
That'd be, handling a bulk of the ball handling. That would be a likely decision. You have Talapu's calling for it in the corner again, wanting her shot. As Kai takes it inside. Goes in with a little floater that ends up being a little bit short of the hoop, hitting the front of the rim.
Go to the line for two.
And they're going to call that on Collins.
There it is. If you can't make the shot, draw the foul.
That's Collins' first foul of the contest. Kai sinks that for her first one.
And ties the game up. We are at 18 up.
Kai's looking to go 2 for 2. She was pretty good on her free throws last Wednesday as well. And she does go 2 for 2, making the score 19-18. And again, Bettany's bringing the ball up the court, so we'll see how this turns out for South Puget Sound. Gives it to Whitehead. Whitehead trying to go inside, end up kicking it back to Bettany, who gets an open look. That was a nice board. Another offensive rebound, as JD pointed out earlier. That is definitely going to be a factor here in this game. That's the third one we've seen. Christian trying to look inside, trying to get it inside to Elwood. Even taking some risky passes in there.
Highly risky. That was in a lane of traffic right there.
Although if she had completed that pass, it would have been a fantastic play.
That's always true.
All right, South Puget Sound gets it down to the key. She gets called for a travel, moving her feet before she could let go of the ball.
Penny checks back in. Checks in for Christian.
Indeed. Yenny gets it into Nurmi. And Nurmi brings it up the court, gives it to Lapu. Lapu trying to look inside to Elwood. Elwood telling her to look off, that there's not quite enough time. She gets called for a travel. A little bit of happy feet there. As Whitehead's going to throw the ball in here.
And we're going to take a quick timeout for SPC.
There we go. It's not a full timeout. It's going to be a half timeout. The official was a little bit delayed on getting us that information, but better late than never.
That's right.
So with the first quarter gone, we can definitely tell that South Puget Sound is extremely aggressive on getting those offensive rebounds. So that's going to be something interesting to look for.
Certainly. Yeah, they're coming in here not like a team that has a 3-12 record, maintaining a 1-point lead at this point. They are certainly playing highly aggressive.
All right, looks like Whitehead's going to inbound the ball for South Puget Sound.
And here's Henny back on defense.
Again, like we said, Yenny being really aggressive, going to try and use her quickness against Bettany.
And she is quick.
Almost got a hand on that one. She hits left to Whitehead. Whitehead goes across back to Bettany, who's trying to get that open look. Ends up getting it inside. Gets inside to Collins. Collins from Winlock, a town not far from here.
Collins seems to be almost double teamed every time she gets inside the paint.
As Nurmi brings the ball up across half court. Centralia getting a play from their coach. That ball gets tipped, so it can't quite make it all the way to the corner to Yenny. Yenny tips that one. And then gets it across to Nurmi. Nurmi has a 2-on-1 situation, gets to the Yenny, back to Nurmi. Nobody wanted to take that shot. Now they're back on playing the 5-on-5 defense. Couldn't quite take advantage of that situation. Another rebound by Collins. Collins gets to Bettany. Bettany getting her team situated. Gross goes all the way across to Bettany. That seems to be the play they have run every time. Bettany will go one direction, and then she'll just flare to the opposite wing and look for a screen coming down on the top.
I agree, Zach. They are, going wing to wing on almost every pass when they get.
Great steal by Collins as Talampu is getting quite careless with that ball. Whitehead brings it up, trying to look inside.
I believe that's 3 possessions in a row that they've now taken the ball away from Centralia.
All right, a little bit of change there, as they didn't start with Bettany in the point. Now back to Whitehead, who's looking to get it to Bettany. Bettany looks inside to Collins. Can't quite get it, but instead finds Brown, who then draws the foul. That foul is going to be on Talapu. As Brown looks to extend this lead. Shots off to the left.
Connolly's going to come back in for Centralia, and out will come Talapu.
As Brown looks to convert on this one, put the team up 21-19. She can't quite convert. That leaves the score 19-20. Ends up Centralia touched that ball last, so the Clippers are going to get that ball. Here they are running stack, a classic play that's run from all levels.
Bettany gets it to Gross.
To Bethany in the corner, who then tries to look inside to Brown, who gets the ball but ends up on the outside of the perimeter. Not quite where she wanted to end up with that ball. As they get it back to Bethany, Bethany looking to get across to Whitehead. Whitehead looks to Gross. Gross has the ball, having some issues with Yenny being really aggressive up on the top. Really does reduce the amount of time they get inside. Oh, some great hip side by Elwood.
Wow. Yeah, Henny totally had she shut down the three-point shot on almost every angle there. They had to go inside. And the ball does get kicked.
The Clippers ball with 2 seconds left on the clock. Shot clock.
Indeed, they got to get a quick shot off of this. They touches the rim, so their shot clock does reset, and a great rebound by Brown, who sends herself to the line again. Last time she was at the line, she went 1 for 2. She looks to improve.
6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Missed her first 2 shots. Let's see how she does now. Makes the first one.
And that foul was on Nurmi, her first personal of the game.
That was 2 for 2 this time.
And it is a 3-point lead for SPC.
Centralia College coach calling out a play as Yenny goes to the top, which is not normal. Yenny's usually in the corner. As they get across the 22, Snazza can't quite convert.
Gross gets that rebound.
As Bethany brings up the court. Gets to Gross. Gross back to Bethany. Bethany gets to Whitehead. Whitehead drives left. Gets it inside to doesn't quite get to Collins. Collins aggressively gets that ball, who then finds Brown for an easy lay-in. All right, Nurmi here brings up the court again. They're going to try and run the same thing. Apparently they didn't run it well enough last time. They're going to try and get it to the corner, but they end up going off her, so Conley decides to take herself. I'm not quite sure what was happening there. And Nurmi kicks to the left to Conley. Conley trying to look inside for Elwood. Ends up driving, goes up with a nice little right-handed hook shot, taking matter into her own hands. Bethany to bring up the court, guarded by Yenny. Yenny sinks it back down into the key.
Whitehead back to the Gross.
So Centralia is running some kind of hybrid zone.
Gross with the 3. Misses.
All right, and that rebound, the offensive rebounds are extremely lopsided right now.
They certainly are. Gonna have a few substitutions. Northrop back in.
And Christian is back in, taking Conley's spot. Northrop comes in for Gross.
The score is 24-21. Clippers leading.
All right, Nurmi gets to Yenny to Christian. Christian, surprised she didn't take that shot. She's been pretty comfortable so far along the three-point line. Nurmi kicks to Yenny at the top.
Kai set up in the corner. That might be a good place to go.
Looks like South Puget Sound has been trying to take away that three-point shot, even though Kai gets an open look here, and she sinks it.
To tie the game up, 24.
Yeah, I think that was the play.
Northrop back in from her rest on the bench. Now to Bethany, who looks to get it to Northrop. Northrop having some trouble gathering that ball. She gets to the corner to Bethany, who looks inside to get to Collins, but Collins can't quite gather the ball. That pass wasn't the best timed. It was soft. So Centralia had enough time to get around it, to put their hand on it. Kyle looks inside, trying to get it to Elwood. She kicks it across to Yenny. Yenny to Christian. Christian is now looking inside as well. Centralia is definitely trying to work inside out. If not, they're going to take their open looks.
And they are starting to feel a little more comfortable and a little more confident in those three-point shots right now, I think.
As Bethany looks left, trying to get inside, but doesn't quite get it to Whitehead, who gets it to Northrop in the corner. Corner back to the wing. As Whitehead gets it inside to Brown. Brown likes her chances. Ends up getting a hand on that. So Nurmi picks up her second.
Brown will go to the line for 2.
Nurmi needs to be careful not to pick up a third. It's still pretty early in this game to get that many fouls.
Agreed, and it looks like Talapu is set to come back in, and she will for Centralia as Nurmi takes a seat on the bench.
So Talapu is probably going to handle the ball handling duties for Centralia while Nurmi takes a rest / stays out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
2 for 2 at the line there for Brown. Making her a living there.
And it is Talapu, you are correct.
Gets to Kai in the corner. Kai looks inside, ends up getting a hand on it. Not quite aggressive enough for Elwood to go get that ball. Elwood finds Collins as Bettany has the ball. Tries to find inside, can't quite get it there. Too many hands as they throw this ball across the key. That's a dangerous pass. All ball, the official says on that one. Well played by Collins. Bettany has the ball up top. Gets it to Whitehead. Whitehead's trying to look inside as South Puget Sound is really trying to work inside.
Oh, they are trying.
As they're trying to do a little garbage toss there to get behind the defense to get to Collins. We get to Brown in the corner. Brown, not the best with her handling skills that we've seen so far. And there's only 2 seconds left on the shot clock as Bettany heaves it over the backboard.
Once again, Yenny's defense has almost shut down their three-point shot almost all the way around the key, but they are able to still make it in, and they are getting the rebounds, even the offensive ones.
Elwood takes her self to the sideline as Wilkerson comes in her stead. Changing how they're running their offense here as Talapu's trying to get them all in place. Looks a little chaotic as looks like they're running in circles, but they're definitely trying to get to a place.
Ooh.
As Wilkerson got the ball underneath, but couldn't hold on to it.
1 point lead for the Blazers at this point. 27-26 with 1 minute 44 left in the quarter.
Talapu gets to Kai. Kai drives it inside, ends up switching it up to Christian from that pass probably traveled 3 inches from person to person.
I'm not sure that was planned, but it worked, so we'll go with it.
Northrop kicks it to Whitehead. Whitehead definitely bothered by Yenny's aggressiveness. Bettany has it up top, trying to get her ladies into position.
Yenny again stops.
Nice rebound by Collins, although quite aggressive with the hands in there. Kicks it to Whitehead. Whitehead decides not to take that 3. Can't quite feed it inside to Collins where she wanted to go, so they kick it back to Northrop. Northrop gets it to Whitehead. Whitehead across the court to Bettany, who gets a touch pass inside to Brown, who ends up missing the first one and the second one. She's not too pleased about that. As Christian brings it down court and gives it to Kai. Kai looking for something fast, can't quite get it. Probably gonna pass it out.
Under a minute.
44 seconds left in this half. As Talapu tries to send it across the court to try and get Wilkerson, who is in there.
And Brown looks like she might have got a little roughed up on that last block. She's going to take a seat.
As Holden comes in, which I think is a smart move. Holden's pretty comfortable on the 3-point line, so maybe in this last couple seconds here, they'll be able to get one of those shots off.
Agreed. Now if Northrop can get past Yenny, and she almost, nope.
Another foul for Centralia. This is not what you want to do when you're winding down to the end of a half.
No, they're dangerously close of giving away their lead at this point.
Conley comes to check in. There's a high arcing free throw, but it ends up going in with some nice touch. Conley comes in for Kai. I can't think of a strategy the coach would be using right now, but I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah, I guess maybe because we're under 30 seconds. One, two, they're going to change that foul to on Henning. Is that what Yenny? Is that what they've just done?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they did. Yeah, they switched that to Yenny. And I realize now that the Centralia College's coach just pulled out Kai because she had 2 and didn't want to pick up an easy third. And they ended up changing the foul, so Kai still has 1, and now Yenny has too many.
That will be the switch. So Kai comes back in. I see, once the refs make the correction.
Coach Sells is trying to keep his players out of foul trouble here in the last little bit. Call that a jump ball. And that's going to be South Puget Sound's ball underneath the hoop.
Quite a few elbows on that jump ball.
South Puget Sound gets to Northrop. 25 seconds left. You got to wonder if they're going to try and hold on to this. See if they get the last shot, or if they're going to take whatever's open. And Kai steals it.
With the fast break.
Takes it for a nice lane. And there's 15 seconds left. South Puget Sound's got to come up with something here. Momentum's just not in their favor. As Whitehead doesn't like what she sees, gets to Holden. Holden can't get anything inside. Takes it one step inside the three-point line for a very long two. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is halftime.
Very close game, only a 4-point deficit. Blazers lead 31-27.
The fouls were a little bit lopsided in that first half, with Centralia having 5 and South Puget Sound only having 1. There might just be a difference in aggressiveness because Centralia is playing in their face with Yenny at the top, and especially down in the post. They're trying to, once they get that ball, to really just force it out of their hands, and that is what's leading to some of their fouls here.
Agreed. They certainly are playing a little bit choppy, although I think frustration has a lot to do with it. They only have a 4-point lead, but yeah, the fouls have been a little lopsided. We're going to wait for our statistics here. We're about to get any moment.
So Centralia, one thing they need to work on, like for sure, this is definitely what their coach is going to be talking about them to while they're in the locker room here today, is offensive rebounds for South Puget Sound. They need to block out. They have to emphasize getting in position, finding that weak side rebound, because 90% of the shots that go up end up coming off on the weak side. And South Puget Sound is just getting excellent position before Centralia can even find them. So that's definitely something Centralia needs to work on to improve in the next half in order to grow this lead. And South Puget Sound, they really just, well, besides the fact their offensive rebounding is fantastic at this moment, they need to find a rhythm. They just seem kind of choppy, and they aren't flowing very well. At the beginning, in the first quarter, they only ran one play. One set play, I should say, or at least one that I noticed. And it didn't actually produce anything. It just kind of got them into movement. It's like they're unfamiliar with what they're doing, and they're just trying to find that rhythm that they can really just flow with.
Yeah, certainly. They definitely seem to be a little out of step with one another, especially on the passing. They've done some questionable passes, slightly errant at times. I'm not sure if that was simply good timing by SPC, or if Centralia might need to work on maybe work a little closer with the passes and expand from there.
One thing South Puget Sound did do well, though, besides offensive rebounding, was they managed to play aggressive and not commit too many fouls. They were in the passing lanes, tipping passes and getting turnovers, all while staying completely out of foul trouble. Only one foul in that first half, in that first half they only had one team foul, and that is a fantastic number there.
And that is actually quite remarkable, because coming into this game, they were second in their conference and third overall with personal fouls, at 12.3 average per game. So they have definitely managed to flip the script on that one with Centralia.
All right, and that'll be it for this halftime show. We'll come back a couple minutes before we get started and give you the statistics of that half and what we need to look forward to and look for in this second half. All right, and welcome back to this game as we're going to update you with the stats that we have here and really point out what we think these two teams should work on in the second half and focus on to really have this game tip their direction.
Centralia is winning the rebound battle by 1, but the Clippers are being more aggressive and going to the line more than Centralia is at this point. They are 50% from the free throw line, and if they keep going to the line and making them, they'll be in Xanadu.
Indeed.
That is very possible. Other than that, Piper Kai was the top scorer for Centralia so far with 18 points, making 6 out of 9 of the field goal attempts and 4 out of 7 of her three-pointers.
And the leading scorer for South Puget Sound was actually one of their bench players, Brown, scoring 9 points from the bench, scoring most of those from the free throw line, 3 of those 9 coming from the free throw line. And as well, one thing that we have here is that South Puget Sound has not made all of their free throws, coming in at 4 for 8, but they have gotten to the line, which has been a really excellent thing happening here for South Puget Sound. And Centralia, as last half, ending that half with only 1 foul going against them for South Puget Sound, that only led to 1 set of shots for them to shoot, and they sank both of those 2 for 2. Another thing, last half we talked about how South Puget Sound was really dominating the offensive boards, and when we got these stats, it actually didn't turn out that way, having South Puget Sound getting 6 offensive boards and Centralia notching 5 of their own. So what really happened here is South Puget Sound is getting offensive boards that lead directly to points, which is a huge bonus. Whenever Centralia gets an offensive board, it leads to them kicking it out to the outside again and resetting up their offense, not leading to direct points right away. And here we go as we kick off the second half.
That could also be why this game is also pretty close.
That could be, with 31 Blazers, 27 SPC.
All right, and Conley drives it inside, trying to find her way in, ends up trying to get it to Yenny back on the top, but Bethany sees it and decides to pick that off, taking it coast to coast, almost coast to coast, as Collins can't quite get her hands on it. And now that ball's in the far corner of the gym as Conley has to go get that. Almost under the bleachers. All right, Collins going to throw in a Nurmi here as Nurmi takes it up the court. All right, here we go. They're trying to get it inside to Elwood as they kick to the corner to Piper Kai. Kai gets it back to Conley, who decides to take her own 3.
And it's good.
And that is an impressive number, as Centralia is 7 for 17 today. That is a very, very high number.
Centralia now takes a 7-point lead.
As Northrop is at the top dribbling with Yenny up in her face, as Yenny is just back and forth, and whoever's handling the ball as she tips that. Now Bethany's looking around trying to find something to work with here. Trying to get that screen pass that she got earlier, but it didn't work out for her. As Whitehead shoots that, because of the shot clock being at 4, she was forced to take that poor shot.
It's another good example of good defense by Centralia, forcing them to run it inside and just wiring down the clock.
As Kai kicks it back to Conley. Conley taking it inside. Earlier hit that 3. Wonder if she's going to take that opportunity if she gets another shot.
Kai is posted up in that corner. She doesn't seem to want to be anywhere else.
Kai is currently leading Centralia with 18 points. So, as you can tell, she's been really aggressive on the boards and has been hitting those shots from the 3-point range, going 4 for 7 from beyond the perimeter.
And she just drew a foul, which is very dangerous. It's going to give her a couple free shots.
Shot was a little flat, but ends up going in for Kai.
Centralia's 3rd free throw of the night.
That one had more arc on it, feeling more natural coming off the hand, and had a nice backspin to it as Northrop brings the ball up the court.
It was 2 for 2 that time.
Yeah, that does put Centralia at 4 for 4, so they have been prolific on free throws.
And that is, Piper Kai has had all of those. She's been the only one to have a free throw for Centralia thus far.
Wonderful move by Northrop to put that ball in the hoop as Nurmi tries to push the tempo to not give South Puget Sound a chance to really remember that success. As they turn right around as Elwood gets an easy lay-in. Looks like she was just forgotten about down in the paint.
Yeah, I think they were expecting him to go outside again. They just forgot about the one under the basket.
As Benson does a nice smooth pass to Whitehead, who was in the short corner. All right, Newry brings it across half court to Conley. Conley kicks it to the corner to Yenny. Yenny definitely wants her own. And she gets called for a travel. A little bit of a happy feet there. That's the third travel for Centralia tonight.
That is surprising. Oh, there's Yenny right back on defense to Northrop.
Northrop kicks to the corner, who
Gross
sinks
for
her own
three.
shot. That would be Gross, who has put that shot in for South Puget Sound. Conley back to Nurmi. Nurmi is trying to get her people set up as somebody's on the ground, kicks it behind Collins to Elwood for a nice, easy lay-in. That was a good heads-up play by Nurmi, knowing that the help side came across, but nobody helped the helper.
Definitely good save there. Good assist.
As Bethany gets the ball again, shot clock at 15 seconds. Centralia's done a great job defensively in winding down their shot clock for South Puget Sound, forcing them to take shots that they necessarily wouldn't want to take otherwise, as shot clock's now at 5 seconds. Forcing them to drive inside, taking a rough shot or a deep three. Didn't touch the rim, so we have a shot clock violation, and Centralia will take that ball out from underneath.
That's
the hoop.
another good point, Zach. Yeah, they're just forcing them to wind down the clock to the point where they either have to make a shot they're uncomfortable with or risk running out of the shot clock entirely.
Yeah, and puts you in that conundrum. Would you rather take a bad shot or not shoot at all?
Yeah, and with the way rebounds are going, I'm not sure myself at this point.
As Kai has it in the corner, kicks it up top to Nurmi, who definitely wanted to take that shot but couldn't quite get her hands on it. So Elwood takes it herself. That puts them at 8 for 18.
There's that bread and butter again, them 3-point shots.
Stretches their lead to 9 as they lead 43 to 34.
As Gross has it at the top, kicks it to Bettany. Bettany looking inside, can't quite get it there. Ends up does get it to Collins. Collins kicks it out to Northrop, who gets it to the deep corner. Back to Northrop. Gets a drifter to Bettany, who takes her own shot and drains it.
Good for
Both teams trading threes. Those have been the last 12 points scored in total by both teams as 2 separate three-pointers from each team.
Yeah, the defense on both sides is just not letting anybody inside.
As Nurmi takes her own three, but can't quite convert that time.
Oh, she was after that ball, though, wasn't she?
Drawing a foul that a lot of people would not be pleased to have picked up.
I think that's a fair statement.
As Conley goes to the bench and Christian comes in the game. As well as a change, Collins goes to the bench for South Puget Sound, and into the game comes Brown, the current leading scorer for the Clippers. There's Yenny again, putting pressure at the top of the key, or at the top of the half court at that matter.
Gross hits that 3.
A lot of three-pointers this half.
Has been, and with just about 5 minutes left in this quarter, the lead has shrunk to 3 points.
Oh man, Christian had it in her hands, ends up getting knocked away by her own player Kai as Bethany tries to take it all the way down the court and finishes that lane.
Successful fast break.
And the Blazers only have a 1-point lead at this point.
Yeah, basketball's a game of runs. Centralia had the runs in the first half, and now the Clippers have put together their own.
Solid defense still on both teams, not allowing anybody close. Or at least not
Risky pass to Yenny. Ooh.
Very.
Kai takes it in, puts a nice little floater. She has been fantastic with those. As we've watched these last couple of games, she has a nice soft touch coming off that drive.
Definitely.
Gives it to Whitehead in the corner, trying to look inside to Brown, but Brown is not quite finding the position she needs to. And Gross is taking a heat check. Gets that one, ties it up 45-45 with 4 minutes left in the third. South Puget Sound definitely has the ball going their way this time, as Centralia is just plunking away with their points here and there, trying to survive this run. Gross with a heat check.
Gross goes through the
9
3.
points in the last minute. Holy smokes.
Yeah, they are nailing them 3 points now. And have regained the lead.
That's crazy. And we got an offensive foul here. Player control foul on Kai. Must have extended her elbow.
Yeah, must have it. It wasn't very noticeable up here. And here's Northrop.
The Clippers are definitely going to try and be feeding Gross here. Try and feed the hot hand.
Oh.
I would expect a play here going out of bounds to try and get Gross the ball right off the bat so she has a nice look.
Yeah, that would, I would say, be the smart move at this point. She is just racking up the points.
Let's see where she goes. Ends up getting into Brown. All right. As Yenny gets that board, takes it down the court, trying to press the matter. Finishes with her can't quite finish, but ends up drawing the foul with her left hand on the right side of the hoop. That's quite a unique lay-in style, considering when you're on the right side of the hoop, you usually want to use your right hand.
Sure.
Finishing with a left hand, trying to go underneath the defender.
Yeah, that is difficult. Good description. That is a very difficult play.
Now, that would be why she finished with her left hand on the right side of the basket. She's left-handed.
That's an excellent point.
I was really confused there for a second.
One of the things we don't have on our statistics in front of us.
I should have guessed, though. She has the shooting sleeve on her left hand.
That
there's no reason to warm up your opposite hand.
That's a good point. Yeah. We just missed that.
As a 30-second timeout is called by the Clippers.
And with 3:05 left on the clock for the third quarter, we are all tied up at 48-48. Fouls are tied up 2 apiece. What do you think the coaches are telling their players right now?
I know Centralia College's Coach Sells, is telling his players we cannot lose Gross. Gross right now, it is what's killing us. She has scored 9 points in the last 2 minutes. And that's a backbreaker when you're Centralia and you've been playing solid D this whole time. And one player just gets these looks. And on her third shot, she wasn't even open. She took that shot while somebody was guarding her. So that kind of confidence is dangerous when you are trying to defend that. It's fantastic if you're the Clippers.
And I've seen that confidence ever since high school when she was still playing in high school. Her senior year, very big contribution to them going to state.
Well, sounds like she's been doing it a while then.
Oh, man, trying to get a backdoor play in there to Whitehead. Almost got it.
It's a pass from half court.
As Nuri brings it up, gets to Yenny. Yenny takes it left. Christian takes it right. Tries to go all the way in. Finishes with her right hand.
That'll reestablish the Blazers' lead at 50-48.
As Whitehead gets the ball, kicks to Gross. Gross looking inside, not quite looking for her own shot, considering she's guarded by 2 people. And Whitehead gets her pass tipped as Nuri takes it up the court, looking for something fast. Kicks to the corner to Kai. Kai takes it baseline, finishes with her right hand, and gets that lay-in. That is a great basketball move right there. As that player was coming to close out, she beat them with her left hand going baseline, and then finished with her right hand on the inside of the hoop.
You're right, she does have very soft hands. It's almost a very graceful swan-like move that she makes. Never overpowers it to the backboard.
And we have a foul called there on 23. That will be, oh man, that's going to be on Holden. Elwoods comes off to the side now as Wilkerson takes her place. They get it into Bettany, who ends up beating Kai baseline. And now we have a block call on Kai as we get that confirmed here. Indeed, that is on Kai.
Bettany will go to the line for 2.
And that's Kai's second personal, but that's not nearly enough fouls this late in the game to be concerned about. If she picks up her third here with the next 2 minutes, that is some reason for concern.
Yeah, I agree. She's still good being in the first half. All right, 52-49, 1 shot remaining.
That's exactly what the Clippers needed right there, a 2-for-2 showing at the free throw line to really pick up that difference there.
That's what we were talking about earlier. If they want to get a bigger lead, they got to get better with their free throws. And they keep making them once they go to the line.
Indeed. Christian has the ball, hits it inside to Wilkerson, can't quite get it in there. Wilkerson can't get a hold of it. That was a fast pass.
Yeah, that was a bullet. I'm not sure even if she'd been ready for it, she'd have caught that one. That was really coming in quick.
Yeah, Wilkerson definitely needed both hands to get a hold on that one, as she only tried to catch it with one. As they get to Holden in the corner, he tries to put the defender up, ends up not doing it, puts it back to Holden. Holden to Whitehead. Whitehead looking across the court to Betsy, decides that's not what she wants to do. Gets it back to Holden. Holden to the left to Gross in the corner. Gross all the way across to Whitehead. Whitehead's trying to find something to do with the ball. Ends up getting it back out to inside to Bettany, who then puts a lay-in. That's a high difficulty lay-in right there.
Very good defense by Centralia. They just kept them out of the center very, very well.
Also, one thing to pay attention to that last one was that shot clock was winding down. Yes. Again, as Centralia has been doing to South Puget Sound this entire game. Kicks out to Kai. Kai gets the shot she wants, and it shows. She sinks that one.
Expands the lead to 5 points. Less than a minute remains in the third quarter.
Holden off the top of the backboard, but no stoppage by the referees. Usually when it hits the top of the backboard, the refs will stop play, but it might have hit the corner of the backboard. They definitely have a better angle than we do over here. And now Nurmi has it, gets to the corner to Kai. Kai decides not to take it, gets to Christian. Christian wants the shot. Somebody was in her face, but she took it anyways. As Kai gets the offensive board, gets the Nurmi on the outside. Nurmi to Yenny. Yenny wants her shot. Centralia right now is living and dying by the three, and it is showing. Those offensive rebounds, though, have been fantastic for Centralia, giving them the opportunity to continue to shoot. As they take that shot with only 2 seconds left in the quarter, and they call that with 0.3 seconds left.
Wow.
And the heave is a no-good shot as we come to the conclusion of the third period. Blazers 55, Clippers 50.
Still leading in fouls is Centralia, this time 4 over 2. They're going to have to watch that. That could be a little pricey as we go down this. Although going into the fourth period, I don't think anybody's in real danger of getting exited, but they should pay attention to it nevertheless. And like you said, yeah, the offensive rebounds have certainly given Centralia way more shots than they would have normally had, especially inside. I'm not sure if, although on the other side, SPC's been getting a lot of offensive rebounds as well. So I don't know. They're pretty evenly matched, being within 5 points here. It's been a very exciting first 3 periods. What do you think the coaches are going over right now?
They're definitely talking about the rebounding war right now. In regards to the first half, South Puget Sound actually had more offensive rebounds than they did defensive rebounds. And I'm sure that trend has continued into this half, just by the way that they've been boarding this time. And so blocking out is definitely going to be an emphasis, trying to get good position for their players so they are in the best possible place in order to get that board on both offensive and defensive sides of the ball.
Agreed.
And Centralia has done well keeping track of Gross as she went on that hot streak earlier. So they haven't really lost her, as Yenny is playing some close defense on Northrop.
Yeah, and she has not let up the entire game.
And to be honest, I don't expect her to let up because that's just how she plays.
That is it.
And Betsy has the ball at the top, kicks it to Holden. Holden brings it to the right, or the left, my bad. Gets it to Gross, who's at the top of the key. Takes it back to Holden. That's a stagnant corner there. They needed to switch which side of the court they're on as Gross decides to take a heat check. A little bit of a forced shot there. Looks like we got a foul before a jump ball, so that's going to be Centralia's ball. That was on number 13, Brown.
As the Lady Clippers are heading into zone defense this fourth quarter.
Oh, as Holden gets a little bit too excited about getting that board, throws the ball out of bounds before Northrop is ready to collect. That's going to have Christian throw the ball in.
Yep, just in a little bit too much of a hurry.
Into Nurmi. Nurmi is now looking to see what she can get inside, as I expect Australia to work inside out, just as they did right there. Wilkerson to the outside. You can tell Centralia's bench just stood up there expecting Piper Kai to take that three-point shot because they live from the inside out. Inside out meaning they get the ball inside to the post and then kick it back out to the three-point line. There's not a better shot in basketball than getting an inside-out shot.
And they seem to do it meticulously well.
Indeed, Centralia does have a knack of getting the ball inside. As Yenny's aggressive hands knock the ball out of bounds. And now Whitehead checks in for Holden. And Wilkerson now goes to the bench as Elwood comes in. Gross gets it to Bettany, who then gets to Northrop, who drives right, kicking it to Gross. Gross kicks it to Whitehead. Whitehead back to Gross. Gross trying to get the survey of the floor, seeing what she can get out of this, and ends up drawing a foul. As we noticed earlier, the fouls that South Puget Sound is getting lead to free throws, which is key to how they are instilled in this game, with their free throws having a lot of attempts and they're converting at a high percentage now in this half.
Agreed.
As that first one goes in, I don't think they've missed one this half, have they?
I don't believe so. They are almost, I hate to say it, but almost relying on that, that if they can't make a shot, then draw a foul, you know, to the point where that could be a dangerous strategy. But with as highly aggressive as these teams, wow.
A nice steal by Bettany to get some points on that board for her team.
Yeah, she just stole two from them.
A heads-up play to find Centralia being a little bit lazy with their passes right there. Kai is calling for it in the corner, but Bettany sees her, not going to let her get that open look. Yenny gets to Nurmi. Nurmi ends up getting her own shot. Christian's always in there with her hands up there, almost getting the ball every time, but always gets out-poked, like the ball gets poked out of her hands. As Bettany has the ball at the top, gets to Gross. Gross looking to set something up. Kicks it to Northrop. Northrop drives left. Kicks it to Bettany, who is still looking around. Sees the back door cut by Whitehead. Doesn't like it. Decides to go all the way across the court. Gross, who then finds her stride, but can't quite convert. As Piper gets that board and ends up, looks like Brown is going to get called for a little bit of slap there.
Yeah, between Yenny and Nurmi, they shut down the ability for SPC to get inside at all. Their defense just is holding. They're forcing them to almost go wing to wing and shoot from the outside.
Correction by the officials. They called it on 15, but there is not a 15 on the roster. So we corrected that to 13.
Well, it is early in the season. Even the refs, we'll give them a break on that one.
Indeed. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Everything went right that needed to go right there for Centralia, as Yenny takes a risky pass inside that gets tipped right back into the hands of Conley. As Gross has it at the top, looking to go inside, finds Bettany, who's looking inside to Collins. Can't quite get it there. Decides to split the double team. Gets to Whitehead, who takes her own shot and drains it. As Nurmi here takes it up the court.
Brought it to a 1-point lead for Centralia.
This is the final period of the game, so every point matters at this point. As you have Kai in the corner, gets it back out to the top to Yenny. Yenny to Nurmi. Nurmi back to Yenny. Yenny to Conley, trying to look inside, decides to take her own three. As Yenny tips it, but can't quite tip it to her own teammates. As the Clippers call a timeout. There is no indication that came from the coaches. I think that was a player called timeout. Oh, I see. Bentley is having some issues walking off the court here.
That could bode ill for the Clippers. Well, we hope she's okay.
With Bettany gone, Northrop is definitely going to take over the bulk of ball handling duties here. Everything's going to have to flow through Northrop. Collins gets the ball on the outside, gets it back to Gross. Gross looks right, ends up throwing to the left, back to Northrop. Northrop's trying to make something happen, can't quite get it as Gross takes a nice little floater in there. A high difficulty shot, I can't quite get the drop. Never brings it up the court. Centralia definitely playing the time game, trying to take their time, slowing down.
Which I'm not sure is such a good idea with a 1-point lead, to be honest. I think they should get a little more comfort room first.
Either way, Centralia seems relaxed.
That's true.
Whether for the better or for the worse, this Centralia has a relaxed poise about them, and you can definitely note South Puget Sound's urgency.
There goes another offensive rebound to give Centralia 2 more points.
Gross has the ball, throws in the corner to Brown. Brown and Elwood get called for the block, even though it looked like Brown tripped on her own.
It did look like a slip, yeah.
But it happens. That official definitely had a way better angle than we did, considering we're all the way across the court from that.
That's true.
All right, and Whitehead is going to inbound the ball. Whitehead inbounds it to Northrop. Northrop to inside to Brown. Brown back outside to Whitehead. Whitehead gets blocked. Gives it back to Northrop as Whitehead gets her own rebound. Gets inside to Collins. Collins can't quite get it there. Oh, got Yenny jumping. Yenny is aggressive. Those pump fakes on Yenny should work more often due to the fact she is such a hyper defender.
The Lady Clippers will keep possession. Inbound.
Whitehead inbounds the ball. Gets it all the way top to Northrop. Northrop trying to get something going. Spins around, gets to Gross. Gross inside to Collins. That was a good pass, but Collins not with the dribbling confidence she needed to make that happen down by the hoop. As Gross goes inside, Collins with the strong hands, able to retain possession of the ball through traffic. Gets the pass out to Whitehead. Whitehead wants this. Whitehead doesn't get it. The ball called again for the Clippers. That is what they need to stay in this game. They need the ball to stay on their side. They need those offensive rebounds.
Yeah, it's been almost a full minute, almost 2, since the ball was seen the other side of the court now.
As they get up top to Northrop. Northrop trying to get it outside. A little bit of a shooter's out, but they were trying to go inside after that, but too clogged up with players from the Clippers. Yenny gets the steal. Going to get ahead to Nurmi. Nurmi with a great bounce pass by Yenny and a nice finish by Nurmi. Exactly what you didn't want to happen if you were the Clippers.
Yeah, that was a very quick change of momentum.
I expect to see more crashing of the boards here for the Clippers as we move forward. And Northrop takes her own shot. She's only taken a couple this game.
Yeah, she's been most of the time setting everybody else up or trying to. She's not having any luck getting inside.
Centralia still more that relaxed energy as they're on their own side of the court, kind of just waiting it out. As Nurmi takes her own 3 and sinks it.
Pushes their lead to 8. Less than 4 minutes remain. Blazers up 64 to 56.
And we have a timeout by Black. So that's going to be the Clippers timeout. And it's going to be a full timeout, a full minute here. I imagine that their Coach Moore right now is telling his players that he is admiring their effort in getting the ball back and staying on the offensive side of the court, but is emphasizing the fact they need to breathe a little and then focus when they're shooting their shots to try and get those to fall, as they've had a little bit of a issue getting their shots to drop in the last minute or so. The first half they did a fantastic job, but this last little bit it's been crucial for the Clippers here.
No, I agree. That's a good point, Zach. Although they might lead by time of possession of the basketball, they're not managed to capitalizing on that time inside, and they're just they keep resetting the shot clock, but they're not actually getting the points they need down by 8.
And vice versa. You know, Coach Sells for Centralia is telling his players, we cannot keep letting the Clippers get those second chances. They need to remove that opportunity and have a one and done. If they remove that second opportunity, even that third opportunity, as we've been seeing here recently, Centralia will be in a much more comfortable position than they are right now, as Whitehead inbounds the ball for the Clippers. Whitehead gets it all the way across, although Kai sniffs it out, and that is not going to happen. And that ball is called Centralia's way.
Bethany is back in the game, but it looks like she's still limping.
It was a very dangerous pass.
As Nurmi brings it up the court, looks left, decides that's not what she wants to do, goes right to Yenny. Yenny back to Nurmi, who then kicks it to Conley. Conley back to Nurmi. Looks like they're trying to get it inside, but South Puget Sound's doing a good job covering up Elwood on the inside. So they're going to do some dribble penetration here to try and get somebody to pull off, as there's only 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Nurmi drives in as their people rotate, and they haven't got a shot off yet, and shot clock violation. But before that was the jump ball, so if it remains White's ball, they're going to have not a whole lot of time to get this shot off. 1 second on the shot clock, the officials say.
Wow.
That's enough time for a catch and 1 dribble.
Centralia takes a timeout.
As long as it's a fast dribble. Otherwise, there's no time to do much else with that 1 second.
Centralia takes a half timeout, 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout. All right, and you know that Coach Sells for Centralia right now is telling his players, this is a crucial moment right here. This could be the nail in the coffin. If we score with 1 second left, it's just going to pull the excitement out of the game for the Clippers. And so this is also an important moment for the Clippers. They got to play some solid defense. Got to play defense for 1 second. Not let them get that quick, easy shot. Make everything contested. They can't lose anybody and just have somebody open on three-point line. As Nurmi gets it in, they do a tip pass to Kai, who then tips it in. Oh, they can't quite get it. It doesn't touch the rim, so that's a shot clock violation. Great effort by Centralia, though, as that play was well executed by Kai coming in to get that little tip, and then by Elwood to tip it back again after that.
Making a quick clock adjustment back to 3 minutes and 13 seconds, I believe is what, yeah, there we go.
Apparently the clock had switched to 31 seconds somehow.
That would have been good for the Blazers, but not really fair.
All right, Bethany back in the game, as Jose pointed out earlier, that she is back in the game, but she does have some issues with that ankle still. So that's something to keep your eye on. Whitehead has the ball, looking inside to Collins. Collins can't get the ball to come inside to her as Whitehead shoots it outside, deciding to go for all the biscuits. And Elwood gets that board. Gets to Conley. Conley looking around, trying to find somebody to get it to. Ends up getting to Elwood again. And you only have 2 seconds to get across the court, and they do it. They have to get across half court within that 10 seconds, and they got across the court at 21 seconds out of the starting 30. So they have 1 second left. So nice job by Centralia finally getting across. Conley decides to take it herself. Can't quite convert as Brown tries to take a charge, but doesn't get anything. No block, no charge call.
As Whitehead brings it up to Gross. Brings
Nice
the ball.
hit by Kai, right to
Centralia with
Yenny.
a fast break. 2-on-1. Good for 2. Nurmi.
Brown has it. Kicks it to Gross. Gross, if she could have gathered that ball up, she definitely could have gotten that ability to shoot that 3, and that could have been a game changer.
It could have been. There's another, man, they keep going wing to wing with the passes. They almost need a cutoff man there to maybe help stabilize their possession.
With a full court press.
Nurmi trying to go coast to coast. Doesn't quite get it. Might come back to haunt them how quickly they changed possession there.
Rose bringing the ball up. Finds Whitehead to Bettany. Clippers call a timeout.
We're down to 1 minute and 35 seconds with a 10-point lead for the Blazers at 66 to 56.
Blazers with a 1 minute timeout.
Well, we're getting right down there. What do you think SPC needs to do to bring themselves out of this?
I mean, score, but that's the obvious thing. Down by 10, they got to get shots up, and they got to get them up fast. With 1 minute and 35 seconds left, there's not a whole lot of basketball left to play. I mean, if each team takes their full 30 seconds, that's only 3 possessions. That's only 9 points if those 3 possessions go to the Clippers. So, and that still falls short of the amount they need to pull this out. So what they need to do is they need to score fast and then get the ball turned over with pressure.
They're going to have to foul.
Yeah, or they have to foul and then make their living from the free throw line. And they've done fantastic the second half making those free throws.
That's true.
So that might be a strategy you're going to see adopt here until it gets way out of reach.
We'll see how all that fouling goes, too, as Centralia has been doing good with their free throws tonight.
True, true. One thing also to consider is it might be too early, too much time left on the clock to start the fouling. So you might see that under a minute, but I don't think it's going to happen here with a minute 35.
Yeah, if they score here on this possession, they're going to have to start pressing them.
And the clock is not, there we go.
All right, and we have Whitehead taking it in. Whitehead gets it to Bettany. Bettany puts it up, ends up drawing the foul instead.
Go to the line for 2.
And that is probably the strategy at this point.
Live and die by the free throw line.
Just like Centralia does it by the three-pointers, yeah.
Bettany has been really good on her free throws this half.
She certainly has.
After that
Bettany
free throw,
goes
that
for
makes
2.
the score 66-58.
And now the press has started.
Indeed, that press is on, trying to get those quick turnovers. Ends up getting beat. But once you're across that line, once you're across that half-court line, you don't have a time restraint. So now they're just going to do their best to dribble back and forth and try and run out this clock. This time, every bit of it is on Centralia's side.
And they've been doing this the entire game, up by 8 or not. They have really managed to just wind out the clock.
And now they call a little screen here for a roll. She's up shooting and gets the foul.
That is the last thing that the Clippers needed.
She will go to the line for 3 shots.
Under a minute to play now.
Never foul the jump shooter. That's a saying that echoes in my head every time I touch a basketball court. Never foul the jump shooter.
Yeah, they yell it enough. It sinks in, that's for sure.
All right, Nurmi makes this game 68-58, extending it back to a 10-point lead as they put Gross back in to try and get her some looks from the three-point line as Holden goes to the bench.
She got 3 shots here.
Here goes Nurmi making an 11-point game. And she does.
Nurmi goes 3 for 3 on that.
Fantastic free throw shooting for Centralia. Absolutely fantastic. Now, South Puget Sound just needs to shoot some threes. They can't settle with it, too. There's not enough time left in that clock.
No.
Somebody's got to put that shot up, and they got to put it up fast. The time is just burning away.
All Centralia needs to do is hold on to it.
And I just heard South Puget Sound's coach say no fouls.
It's a smart thing to do at this point when you're down by 11.
Yeah, they're just looking to run this clock out and finish, go home.
And 5 seconds
they're not even
left.
being challenged. I think SPC realizes.
And we got ourselves a shot clock violation. Now, that was an excellent thing right there that Centralia just did. They know that the Clippers are not going to foul them to force this game to go any longer. So in turn, they refuse to take another shot. In order to extend that shot clock, they should have taken a shot and gotten that to go even more. But instead, you see them hold the ball all the way until the shot clock expires. That is just fantastic sportsmanship by Centralia.
It is knowing that with an
Now
11-point
Bettany.
lead, 5 seconds.
With 2
As
points.
Benny does a heads-up play, gets a nice rebound there, or a steal.
Brings the lead back to single digits.
That'll do it.
And the Blazers take home a 69-60 win over the Clippers.
Despite all of the second chances that South Puget Sound had at their disposal, they did not end up coming out on top in this contest. As Centralia, they just made a ton of shots. Their shooting percentage right now is absolutely astronomical, at least from what I've seen in the last couple of games. And 69 points is actually a lot for the Lady Blazers to score. Their average being right around 55, sitting right around there. That tends to be their normal.
Yeah, they're actually up at 61.6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, points per game is their average.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah.
What about South Puget Sound? What are they averaging here?
Now they were actually only 53.7 per game, so
It's a little bit above average this game was.
a little bit, but definitely not enough. Obviously, that they needed a bit more on that.
Nonetheless, both teams still had a pretty good game.
Oh, I agree. It was an exciting 4 quarters. Yeah, not a dull moment.
Yeah, Centralia did an amazing job defensively and using every single second of that shot clock.
Oh yes, absolutely. Very aggressive defense. Like you said from before, Jenny was approaching at half court even when she was beginning her press, just slowing them down the entire way.
Yeah, and South Puget Sound, their second chance shots really is what kept them in this game through the entirety, is their ability to get those rebounds that led directly to points and all the steals, the turnovers. As you see, Bethany playing until the very end of the game, not giving up. That's an impressive show of heart right there, that everybody thinks the game over. Bethany's still playing. She's
right.
going hard, getting steals, scoring points. That's what you ask for as a coach. That's what you want.
That's true, and there are some players you just can't tell it's the end of the game.
Great example of leadership coming from Bethany.
And so we have the official stats here, and we're looking here as the leader of the scoring for the South Puget Sound Clippers was actually Bethany, coming in with 16 points, closely followed by Gross, though, notching 15 of her own, 4 of those being threes that she made in that short time span right there, and then making 1 free throw along the way. And also behind her was Whitehead, who caught fire later in the game, hitting 2 threes to really keep the Clippers in the game.
Definitely. Centralia ended up with 13 personal fouls to Puget Sound's 7. That it actually didn't affect them that much. South Puget Sound's free throws were quite decent, but it just wasn't enough in the end by an 11-point lead there. Also, Centralia's leading scorer will be Piper Kai, who continues to be their most productive scorer at 24 points this game.
The aggressiveness really showed from Centralia because the stat sheet shows that Centralia had 5 steals in that second half, and South Puget Sound notched 0.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
The aggressive with the hands, that up-in-your-face defense really does put that pressure on that leads you to decisions you wouldn't normally make if somebody was playing off of you.
That's true.
And so that must have rushed the decision-making process for South Puget Sound, leading to more turnovers and so on from there. In regards to turnovers, they were pretty even. South Puget Sound picking up 13 and Centralia having 15 of their own. Personal fouls-wise, it was pretty even by the end there.
Yeah. Josh, the people who played the most time in this game are Yenny and Nurmi. I guess there's no surprise there, both on Centralia at 39 minutes and 38 minutes respectively. Even though they might have only had the 17 points between them, they certainly did a heavy load of the work here, especially on defense. They were really putting up a good front.
A notable thing to point out is that Centralia College's Quinlan Christian notched 7 points from the bench. That is just an amazing help to the spirits of Centralia College's team, having those players really come off the bench and give their all to what's happening in the moment and being able to convert when they needed to.
That's a really good point, as 7 points was well within the margin of the lead most of the game until it broke open there at the end. So yeah, that definitely could have made a very, very big difference.
And Centralia does end up winning that rebounding war, notching up 27 of their own rebounds, while South Puget Sound finishes with just 20.
And here's an interesting stat for the 3-point shots. South Puget Sound is 9 of 24, and Centralia is 11 out of 29. So both teams shooting the ball from distance. Neither of them over 50% technically, but a lot of shots from distance. Just proves also how much they were just not able to get inside. The defense is holding both teams pretty good standard there.
All right, gentlemen, do either of you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right, fantastic. So that last score was Blazers 69, Clippers 60. And as we move forward now, we appreciate if you stay tuned and watch the men Blazers game versus the men Clippers here coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back right around 5 minutes before the game starts to give you a little of a briefing on this one here as we move forward.
Fantastic.
Thank you for coming in.